Previously on Relatable Baddies Book Club.
What do we think about, could Rhysand easily kill Tamlin, or would it be a fight?
I reckon it would be a fight. I think Tamlin's still a beast.
I think he's still like a beast, yeah. But it is well known that Rhysand's the strongest.
Tamlin's up there.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good fight. Maybe that happens later and Rhysand wins.
I would absolutely.
I don't know. I think there's going to be some controversy with Rhysand just because we've thought Tamlin was so good and then he turned out to be a wimp. We think Rhysand's so good. I think what Sarah J. Maas has done is something's going to happen with Rhysand and he's going to pick the court or something over Feyre at one point in time, but maybe come good, whereas Tamlin's never come good.
Right.
I think there's got to be some controversy because he can't just be this perfect human who everyone wants to
Welcome to Relatable's Baddies Book Club, where we will embark on a journey reading some of the finest pieces of literature you have ever laid eyes, or ears, if that's your preferred way to consume a book, on.
Oh, no.
A Court of Mist and Fury. Chapters 38 to 53.
It's getting hot in here.
And we have purposely gone to 53, obviously, because we know what comes next. We have been warned. We don't know exactly, but we have been warned.
Took a lot of willpower.
I actually, at the end of this, I want predictions to be what exactly we like. I want us to go into detail what we think 54 and 55 is, okay?
I'm so excited.
Okay, we'll go from there. And secondly, I will say this. We had Mexican for lunch. Oddie doesn't have the shits, but I do. I have the runny shits.
Rookie, mate.
I don't know what it is.
I'm used to it.
I've been having the same
It
breakfast.
was GYG too.
Yeah, it's GYG.
Don't speak badly of them.
I don't actually know if it's that though, because
Yeah, it must have been something else.
I've never had it from that.
Weird. What did you have before that for breakfast?
I had oats and eggs. Simple, bro.
Oats
Simple.
and eggs.
Yeah, and I've eaten those. I've had those little chippy things.
Maybe it was them.
Plenty of times in my life.
Maybe it was them.
Are
you all right though?
They're high in fiber.
Are you okay mentally?
Mentally, I'm feeling pretty good. If the urge comes, I may run out.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
So, guys, last week and the weeks leading up to this, we have done a cheeky little question in the Instagram, chat.
Sure have, yeah.
We've done some stuff. We did a little dilemma last week from our girl herself.
It was anonymous.
It was anonymous.
Yeah.
I will say that. So last week we said it sounds familiar, but the more you read into these chapters, that becomes way more familiar, that dilemma we got.
Oh, yes.
About the fact that she's like, is it too soon? Is it too soon? Can I sleep
Will
with
we
him?
get confirmation in these chapters that makes her feel better about herself?
Facts. Big fat confirmation.
She
that
took
really...
what she wanted out of that scenario.
Yeah, she did too, didn't she?
So how are we feeling?
I'm feeling absolutely amazing. And I want to preface that for a fair while there, Feyre was fully winning me over.
She went back down.
She lost me. We are hard on her, to be fair. I edit because last 2 episodes I've edited, and so I kind of really listen to it.
No. I reckon she deserves the slander.
I have noticed we are quite hard on her, and I guess full transparency. She's been through a lot, and but
Jake said it to me. You guys have warned us about chapters 54 and 55. You didn't say anything about, it was a 48 or 49?
You guys said nothing about 48 and 49.
Which made me conclude that was nothing compared to it.
Yeah. That's what I made me think as well. Okay.
I've been listening to the dramatized audio still, just loving it, being immersed with my Sony noise-cancelling headphones. And I was, not going to lie, I was getting a little turned on.
Let's get into it. So, okay, 38 and 39. We're doing 2 chapter segments, guys, because we've got a lot to cover. Where we left off was they had just got back from the summer court and they have stolen the Book of Breathings. That feels like, for Oddie and I, a year ago.
Literally.
By the way.
Yes. So long ago.
Okay. So basically, they get back and then it's been a day or 2, whatever. And then Feyre goes up onto the rooftop of the townhouse and she sees big bad Rhysand just chilling there, wings out, draped over this nice steel bench, which again, steel does nothing to them. I don't know why that was.
Balls hanging low.
Yeah, balls hanging low. Just he's just drinking a whiskey or whatever. He's some liquor or whatever, and then she goes and sits next to him, and he seems all sad. And there's a box there, and he's like, "Open it." Opens it. 3 blood rubies. What do they mean?
They mean that Feyre, Rhysand, and all of the Night Court are now enemies of the Summer Court.
No. It's only Feyre, Rhysand, and Amren.
It's not everyone.
No, it's not everyone.
Oh.
It's just those three. They are enemies of the
But
Summer
that
Court.
basically concludes everyone.
Yeah, I mean, Rhysand's the fucking High Lord of the Night Court. So
because they
basically-
betrayed Tarquin.
Yeah,
which
they betrayed
I
him.
really like Tarquin.
And so Rhysand's really upset about it because he loves Tarquin, because Tarquin is the first
Traitor.
the first other High Lord who's young, but
Yeah.
also really wants to like have peace and equalness across the
Take
lands.
the hierarchy away
Yeah.
from high and low fae. But it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do to get the book of breathing.
exactly.
So
So-
half of it.
Basically, she's out there and she's like, oh, I remember reading this part. She's like, oh, whenever I'm having one of my million bad days, again, she's so negative, one of my million bad days, Rhysand is always trying to cheer me up and make me laugh, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
She's
she's
got
like,
a
I
barrage.
will do the same. She's trying to be flirty.
Like I reckon she's so good at flirting. So good.
Born for it.
Yeah.
Really good for a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Might be 20 by now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But basically, she starts trying to flirt, and Rhysand's like, come on, fuck off. Like, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, come on, it's not very high lord of you. And he's like, you get a million bad days. Why don't I get a couple hours? Come on.
Facts.
At least give me a couple hours.
All you do is complain. Give me an
And,
hour.
and she goes, I mean, I was thinking about going down to that lacy little shop down there and choosing some stuff. And I mean, hey, you can come if you want to come. Hey, you can come help me choose some stuff. And then I think he ends up coming round and he's kind of like, well, maybe we will go down to that little lacy
You used to
shop
say
and,
what?
and I'll buy you what you want. And then Cassian shows up and Feyre's like, I should have better leave. Sounds important.
Yeah.
Then as she's walking away, she starts going, if Cassian didn't show up, we might have actually gone, you know? We might have actually gone. And I tell you what, I can tell exactly what would have happened. And she's like, oh, we would have gone in there. I would have taken off my clothes. I would have gone in. I would have tried something on. And I can tell exactly when he would have said to the shopkeeper, the shop is now closed. And then all this stuff starts to happen. It's like they're about to fuck. And then she like hits her head and she realizes that he put that thought into her head. And she's all like, fuck you fucking prick. And he's laughing and shit. And I was just like, yeah, Rhysand's back, baby. Who? Summer Court who?
Yeah.
Fucking Tarquin who?
Blood rubies who?
And one thing I will say is that he was like debating on how he's going to tell Amren, because Amren's answer to something like that would be to go destroy the whole court.
Yeah.
Because she's that powerful.
Yeah.
So he's like, I need to fucking tell her lightly. Cool. And then that night though, Feyre wakes up and there's like magic and darkness all outside her room. She can't see anything. It's
like, what's
all
going
blah, 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 blah.
on?
She knows where it's coming from. It's coming from Rhys's room. She goes in there. And like the fallen prince he is, this motherfucker's having a nightmare.
Rhys, wake up! Rhys, what's going on?
I'm here. It's me, Feyre. And she goes over there onto his bed, wings are out, butt naked apparently.
Yeah, she's like, I will not look past
She
his
goes-
waist.
She's like, I won't look past his waist. Then she goes, but I will look at his knees.
Yeah.
You have to go past the waist for that. What do you do? Go
some
outside?
Tattoos on his knees, which
Such
like,
horse shit. She knows what his dick looks like.
Yeah.
What's
She's
the
like,
bet? It's handsome.
yeah, it's handsome Willie.
Handsome Willie.
I bet she needs to double hand that thing.
Even with those fey hands she's got now, baby. Woohoo! But so then she eventually, I think she just wakes him up.
Well,
or something.
Rhysand's basically just having a nightmare,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, I didn't want you to see me like this. I have them
Yeah.
all the time."
I
She's
usually
like-
contain it to my room.
Yeah, he doesn't normally sleep in that house. He normally
No,
sleeps.
I think that's the reason he sleeps in that house. Is so
Feyre doesn't normally sleep in that house.
I don't know. I think I have a feeling they both do normally sleep in that house, but he contains it to his room. And then the reason he doesn't sleep in the House of Wind is because he doesn't want Cassian and Azriel to know.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe Moore lives there as well. I don't know. Amren has an apartment. We find out eventually. We'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
But so then I don't know. It is what it is.
They wake up next morning and she's like, "Oh, what was that about?" And she asks about the tattoo she saw. No one really cares. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I will do anything for the Night Court." That's what they mean.
Yeah,
like,
fuck, how about it? He's got these tattoos on his knees. Who gives a shit? And then she, I don't know, kind of hop, skip, jump. She goes over to Amren's place.
Well, yeah, Amren's interpreting that book still. She hasn't left.
Yeah. She's just like nose deep in this book trying to interpret it.
She's trying to learn that language again that she hasn't looked at in like thousands of years or whatever.
Yeah, she's like brings her blood. I don't know. And then she sees that Amren
Wait.
has a blood
Is that
ruby.
where we found? Oh no, we found out she drank blood at that restaurant. Sorry.
Yeah. She like brought us some
Yeah.
blood. And she was like, cool. But she saw the blood ruby that was Amren's, like from the Summer Court. You know, like if you're not welcome here, whatever. And then she goes, oh, the Rhysand gave you the blood ruby, blah blah blah. And the way that Varian, I don't know if we spoke about this yet. Basically, Varian, who was like the prince of the Summer Court, and like protector, like high up commander, like the Cassian to Rhysand or whatever, he like wants to fuck Amryn, but also doesn't know if he wants to kill her because she's like so threatening.
Yeah.
And so Amryn says that she's like, he doesn't know if he wants to fuck me or kill me, but to make the blood feud not as bad, Varian sent her a really nice ruby necklace. And so she's like, that's his, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think Amryn has a little crush on Varian.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think that might potentially go into something.
Yeah, Tarquin is definitely going to come around.
Yeah, I think so.
Once Big Bad Highburn comes over and they realize they really needed the Book of Breathings.
Yeah.
And then Varian and Amryn are going to go get caught in a room somewhere and just make babies.
Yeah, she deserves the fuck too.
Fucking oath, she does.
She's getting old.
She's like 8,000 years old. She's definitely had some dick in her life, bro. And then, kind of blah, blah, blah. Who cares? You learn some stuff about the other courts, but I feel like this is all going to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you learn some stuff about the other courts and then they get a message to say the queens they'll meet you.
I feel so long ago.
I know. Yeah, the queens will meet you.
Replied and said they will meet, and they're like where and when, and they have to know everything.
Where and when, blah, 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 blah. They need to know about every single piece of furniture in the house and all that stuff. And they were like, okay, well, cool, whatever. And then, that's chapter 38, 39.
Yep. Let's go to 40 and 41.
They're at the house. They do that thing where they winnow over outside the wall, fly in, whatever, cool. They're at the house. They're at Feyre's sister's house, and then they're waiting there. And on the fucking minute, they were like, the mortal queens arrive. But how do they get there?
They winnow.
They winnow in. And Feyre's like, they can winnow, but they're mortals, blah, blah,
One
blah,
of the
blah,
gifts
blah.
from the old high fays.
It's one of the gifts, yeah.
And that's why they had to know about all the layout and everything.
The mortal queens, bro, hated them.
Jarring, sorry.
So jarring. They're so ignorant. So like,
yeah, and what, 5 of them, was it 5 of them rocked up and one of them sick? Or 6 of them rocked up, one of them sick?
I think it was, I think 5 were there, but there is 6.
Yeah,
or
one of them was sick and old. And they're just like stuck in their ways.
Yeah, basically they just are pleading. Feyre's like, we need the Book of Breathings. They're like, nah.
You think you'll get that? That's ours, bitch.
Nah. And then Feyre says, please. And they say, no.
Yeah.
So then Moore gets up. And they remember more.
Yeah, we find out a bit about Moore.
So we find out a little bit more about Moore because she was more the truth teller or something.
Something really important in the war.
Morrigan, the truth teller in the war.
Morrigan, yeah.
Yeah, or in the war or something like that. And so Moore gets up and goes, your fucking mothers, the mothers of your mothers were my friends. Like, you're disgraceful.
The rumors are true.
The rumors are true. You know what I am and what I can do, blah, 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 blah. And so then one of the queens blurts out like, all right, Rhys, like, even down here in the mortal realm, we know about you.
Yeah.
We know Rhysand.
We can't trust you, bitch.
The High Lord of the Night Court. We know of Rhysand. So prove to us that
you mean peace. Put your money where your mouth is, brother.
Prove to us that you mean peace.
Yeah.
And this is a fucking backstory and a half, bro. About Dracon and Miriam.
Oh,
is it that important? Like it is, but it isn't.
Basically, there was like a love triangle between them and Jurian.
Okay.
And then Miriam breaks off to go with Jurian, then cheats on Jurian, goes back to Dracon, and then everyone thinks they're dead, and then they go to an island and they're living there peacefully.
Yes. To be fair, that's good enough. That's all you need to know. And Miriam is half mortal, half fairy. Dracon, full fairy. And Jurian, full mortal.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, Miriam and Dracon, just remember, they are together on an island still alive, but all the mortal queens think they're dead.
Yes.
Okay.
And Rhysand owes it to them not to tell anyone.
So yeah, Pharaoh was like, bruh, why are we not just going to show them that Dracon and Miriam are alive? Because they didn't believe that.
Yeah.
And then he was like, all they asked for at the end of the war was to be left alone. They want to live peacefully on their little tropical island with fairies and mortals and just be free. So I can't do that to them. I'm going to show them Valaris. Pharaoh was like, what? I'm going to show... What, bro?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Valaris is getting shown in the Mortal Queens. So, boom, we need this Book of Breathings. We're going to go into the Hewn City, the Court of Nightmares, where Moore is actually from, right? We're going to steal a thing called the Veritas Orb, who the person who owns it is Moore's dad.
Yeah.
Boom. We're going to steal that. We're going to take it to the Mortal Queens, right? They're going to recognize the Veritas Orb because it is like a fucking crazy thing. And then I'm going to show them Valaris through the Veritas Orb, and they're going to believe it.
And they're doing that so they don't actually have to take the queens to Valaris because that would be terrible.
That would be very bad because for reasons that, I don't know, isn't really fucking...
Well, then they know and it'll be like, it'll get out and then, I don't know.
And so
well,
basically...
they'll know how to get in if they
True,
do get in.
yeah, they know how to get in. So, and then Rhysand, the night before they're going to go into the Court of Nightmares to like have a distraction and steal the orb, is like to Farah, I am contemplating asking you to stay here for your safety. She says, no, bring me.
That's what Tamlin did.
Do not be him. Do not be like him to protect me.
Rhysand should be like, stop comparing me to him.
know, I reckon.
I'm my own person.
He eventually says that.
Yeah.
And so he goes, okay, well, I got to tell you, you're not going to like what you see.
A different beast,
Yeah.
brother.
You're going to see what we show them.
Yeah.
You're going to see what we show them, all right? And I have a role for you.
You need to play the part.
You need to play the part, and boy, did he choose that part, and did he choose it wisely. He used his power to his advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. And honestly, Feyre played the part.
Yeah, bro. Well, she wanted to. She was like keen as for
Yeah,
it.
she's like,
"You
I can
serious?
finally
Fuck no."
play how I actually feel.
And then quickly, what do we find out? Let me see here. We've got some notes in front of us.
yeah.
We find out a lot about Moore's tragic backstory. So,
Oh,
quick
yeah.
backstory on Moore. Good to know. This will be quick. I'll do it like Oddie's quick one on Miriam and Draco. So, Moore, born in the Court of Nightmares, quickly is discovered that she is of a very powerful source of magic. Who knows? She's just super fucking powerful, like really powerful. And so, in the Court of Nightmares, she was going to be married off as soon as she bled to Baron, who is the son of, to Eris, who is the son of Baron, and Baron is the High Lord of the Autumn Court. And basically, she was like, fuck that, I want to rule my own life. She goes to visit Rhys while he was younger. They were all like 18 at this time. Goes to visit Rhys at an Illyrian camp where he was training. Rhys, Asriel, and Rhys's mum leave to go to somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Cassian and Moore fuck that night. She did it so basically she couldn't be sold off and married off to Eris. And then basically her dad was like, fuck that, puts a couple nails in her stomach or some shit, and then just drops her on the Autumn Court, what's it called? Border.
Yeah.
And then Asriel found her.
Yeah, it was like Eris's problem. He's like, I don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
But good on you, Moore.
Yeah, Moore. What are they?
Choosing like your own lane.
Yeah, she
your own
chooses
future.
Cassian.
Yeah. Well, but she kind of had to choose that because she's like, well, if I have sex with someone and lose my virginity, I'm no longer of value.
Yeah.
But like,
And she's
I am
like, I wanna
valuable
do
to
it.
myself.
She's like, I want to do it with one of the most powerful Illyrian warriors to ever exist.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. We'll get to Asriel. I think he's a little bit cut about that still.
Yeah, bro. Cassian's even cut about it still because she's never gone back.
Yeah, but she realized, Moore did realize, we find out later, that she kind of regretted it, not for what happened with her family, she liked that, but how it made Rhys feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just put a bit of a rift between them for a while.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't want to do
And
that
she's like,
again.
I'm never going back there, so I'd never
Yeah,
sleep with him.
no,
Even
no.
though, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know, throw in the dark, I'm going to bring that later. I reckon after the high burn hit, she's going to sleep with Asriel more.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I have my predictions about Asriel, though.
Yeah. Cheeky devil.
All right, that's 40 and 41, I mean. Okay, 42 and 43. Baddies. We're in Rhys's arms. All right? We're on our way.
I wish we were all there.
Yeah. We're on our way to the Hewn City to go to steal the Veritas Orb, all right? And Pharaoh starts stroking his wings. And he's like shivering. And he's like, you have very, I don't know, fucking, our wings are very sensitive or some shit.
Yeah, he just says that.
And then, and then he's like, what does she say? She's like, okay, cool. What about during sex? She like just goes straight to the fucking point. She's like, what about during sex?
She's like dirty straight away.
Yeah. He's like, what about during sex? And he's like, it's known, if you touch me right, if you touch an Illyrian's wings right during sex, you can finish him right then and there. And she's like, whoa. And he's like, but I've never let anyone do it because, that's it's a point of weakness.
Yeah,
She
it's
goes,
sensitive.
what a shame. I'm getting some good positions with those wings. Ooh.
Notes taken.
Yeah, notes taken. That's a challenge and it is accepted. And
But swiftly as they're flying, that gets cut off because boom, 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 boom. Ash arrows coming out of nowhere.
Ash arrows coming from down below, from everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Shields up. And
Oh,
then
that
they
was
drop.
cool in the dramatized audio, eh?
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Yeah.
They drop down onto the ground. Where are they? Nobody knows. Cassian and Asriel right behind them with their fucking 7 fucking stones. They have to siphon their power or whatever. And then basically they just try to go find them. They don't know who's attacking them.
Yeah.
It's more. This is the second time it's happened now. Apparently.
Obviously, it's people from Highburn, though. We don't know who's attacking us. To be fair, it could be the Summer Court.
Sure. It
Or
could be the fucking Spring Court.
yeah,
Bro.
to
Could
be
be
fair.
anyone.
I take that back.
And then they try to track him for a bit, and then they like run out of time.
Yeah, they're like, we have to get to Hewn City or whatever.
We got to go to the Hewn City.
We got to book it.
And then they get in there, right? So Moore and Farah walk in first, and they're walking in. She said that so Under the Mountain, Amarantha's Under the Mountain was like designed based off of the.
It was like the Povo version of
and
this.
she explains that Under the Mountain's like, yeah, like a Povo version of this. She was like, this shit was a fucking metropolis under the mountain.
Yeah.
There was literally, they go into a literal castle carved into the mountain.
Cool, eh?
And so then they go into this big room, and she sees this big fuck off throne, and it's Reese's throne, a throne fit for the guy that rules this place. And so Moore and Farah go up there, and Moore's just like, everybody, he's on his way, he's in a shitty mood, so let's just fucking chill out, or else he might be tonight's entertainment. And then Azriel, Cassian come in, and then Reese, apparently he just lets go. He like no more glamour. He just lets all his magic out, and he just walks in, and he's a beast, bro. He's a fucking animal. And so he walks up. He like says hi to fucking. He like everyone kneels when he gets in there and shit. And then he sits down. He's like got Farah on his lap, and like the part that she's playing is like his little slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's under the interpretation that he just stole Farah from the Spring Court.
Yeah.
And just using her for sex, kind of like what Amarantha did to him.
Yeah, because that's who they think he is.
Yeah.
And then the guy that is Moore's dad is named Kier. And so he summons Kier, who's like the leader of the Night Court or whatever, when Reese isn't there, and he just is talking to him, and he's there to distract him, right? And so the way he's distracting him is because he knows that he would hate the fact that he has Farah. And so he's like up there like touching Farah's breasts and stuff, like
the descriptive language of this.
Oi, bro, and she's like leaning into it, talking about feeling his hard cock and shit. Like
he gets a
thumb a little bit too close, and she's got like a wet pussy, and she's like, I could feel the purr of approval on the wetness he touched and shit. And I was like, "Ooh, and basically
in the background,
Azriel and Cassian are going to steal the Veritas orb. And then Azriel comes back and nods, and then they've got it.
Mission success.
Like, okay, cool, mission success. And so then basically he sends Farah to go. He's like, all right, Cassian's waiting. Go stand with Cassian, and I'll just like, we just have to be here for a little while longer. And as she's walking past, Kier is like,
what was the exact word?
You'll get what's coming to you, whore.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. And then apparently as soon as he said it, she's,
oh, Reese just uses his mind. Bang.
Boom. She said the whole room went dark,
Yeah.
right? And then as soon as the darkness cleared, all you could see was Kier kneeling, and then Rhysand looks at him and says, apologize. And she's like, what? And he's like, standing there, and then Kier's arm snaps in 4 places.
Yeah.
And he's like, I said apologize. And then his elbow fucking shatters. He's like, and then Kier's like, sorry. And so he says something to him, and he goes, if you see a healer, I'll know about it, all right? And then basically, if you see a healer, I'm going to come kill you. So don't see a healer. I want you to feel the pain. And then he knocks him out. He's like, take him to his room. Cool. And then after that, they leave.
Yeah, they leave with the orb.
With the orb. They leave, and I don't know if they're back in Valaris yet or not, but basically they go, oh no, they're not. He takes her up to like a different mountain or whatever, and they're talking. And he like apologizes, and she's like, it's all good. And he's like, he says something along the lines of, sometimes I can't control my instincts. And then he's like, you don't think I know how this story's going to be written, Farah? That I'm the fucking nightmare. I'm the leader of the Court of Nightmares that's gone in and stole the bride of the fucking Green Prince of the Summer Court or the Spring Court or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, and what about my story, Rhysand? What about me? Don't protect me like him. He's like, do not compare me to him.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And then she says all this shit like, what about the masks you put up? Not just the one for the Hewn City. What about the masks you put up for your friends? Let them know you're hurting. At least I let everyone know I've got a hole inside of me that can't be filled. Just or is it too much? What if you do open up to one of them and they walk away like they should because you're too much and you're too much of a fucking baby?
Fuck you, Farah.
Farah, that was so mean. And then he just goes,
you hurt Rhysand's feelings.
and he's just like, let's go.
Poor
Let's go.
Rhysand.
I know, that was so mean.
Tries to do the best by her.
She was like fully grown on me at this point too.
Yeah. Then back down. Straight back down.
And so then he just like, they go home, doesn't talk to her for a few days, and she's
then,
all like,
she realizes, she's like grumbling, was I too harsh on him?
She goes
Tries
and
to
waits
write some notes. They don't get winnowed to Rhysand.
She waits outside. I was waiting for him. He didn't come. The next morning at breakfast, I wrote him a note. It didn't go anywhere. I went to Amren's house, and she was talking to me, and Amren's like, oh, so you're the reason that the fucking Rhysand came and bit my head off this morning, blah, 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 blah. And then, I don't know, she's kind of like writing more notes, and then she realizes that one.
Oh yeah, she wrote one really bad one.
She wrote one that was like, "You fucking coward." I don't know. She's like being nice initially. She goes, "I want to talk to you," and then she's trying to flirt with him. And then she's like, "Cassian told me you're sulking up in the House of Wind, not very high lord like of you." And then the next one's like, "Oh, does no one get a chance to piss you off?
Yeah.
Fucking coward." It's like, far out, bro.
We know a way.
And then that one goes and he reads it. And I mean, poor Fairy, to be fair, he ghosted her. She was trying to talk to him.
Still, she was like too harsh on him.
She was pretty mean. But then she figures out that the next day is a thing called Starfall.
Yeah, we find out what
And
Starfall is.
It's on Starfall is what Valaris and the Night Court has when every other court has Ninsar.
Yeah.
And she remembers Ninsar. She's had a Ninsar in the Spring Court. She goes, "Fuck, I've been here for a year. Jesus Christ, bro." And so then she goes up there, and then finally, I don't know, she's like gets flown up there by Cassian, and Rhysand's there, and they start talking again, and then the Starfall is just a bunch of fucking stars falling, and it's...
No, it was actually souls.
Yeah, it's souls that migrate.
Yeah, migrating. Huh.
And then she apologizes.
Oh yeah, they apologize, and a couple spirits hit Feyre in the face, and he's like, "Don't wipe it off." And she's like, "No," and then she like pushes him. I don't care if he falls. He's the High Lord. He'll fly.
Yeah.
And then another spirit hits him in the face, and then they're laughing. We're back together again. Woohoo.
And now they're all giggles, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I was actually talking about me as a person, not you.
I was
and
just
shouldn't have put
reflecting.
that on you." And he's kind of like, no, you're right. The reason I didn't talk to you is because I got to be completely honest with you. I was pretty scared you were just going to throw me out of my ass, and I thought hiding would be better. Yeah. I was like, damn, Rhysand, pussy. One thing we should say is that Amryn told her the day prior that they are going to an Illyrian war camp because whoever is been ambushing them can track Rhysand's powers. Everyone else is sweet, but they somehow have a track on Rhysand's powers, and it's obviously Highburn because obviously he's using the cauldron, bro. Okay, he's got a track on Rhysand's powers, and that's how they keep getting ambushed.
Yes.
So Rhysand can't use his powers, and they don't want to live in Valeris because they don't want anyone to find Valeris. So they go and they stay in a Illyrian war camp, and that we meet. Oh, we're done 42 and 43, by the way.
We're up to chapters 45 to 47.
45 to 47
is when it starts to get pretty juicy.
Yeah, boy. So basically, we go to an Illyrian war camp. We meet one of the guys. They're all fucking dogs. Like they're all just shitty.
Well,
humans.
on the scheme of things,
Apparently.
that war camp is quite good.
Compared to others.
The ones deeper are terrible, apparently.
Yeah, they're really bad. They still like clip the wings of the females, and
Yeah, they discriminate against females.
At this one, they've been letting the females train a bit, much to they don't want to, but it's like Rhys is making them.
Yeah, well, Rhysand's trying to get equal, fighting powers for the female warriors.
Yes.
And Devlin's the only one who listens, but he's still making him do chores.
He still makes them do chores and shit. And this is where Cassian, Azriel, and Rhysand grew up, where they trained, because they go stay in Rhysand's mum's old house on like the site. And then they find out like Farrah's kind of like, oh, it doesn't really sound like he's that good. And he goes, honestly, trust me, like he's the best one.
Yeah.
And he let us go, and he honored the blood right. You learn what the blood right is. Honestly, guys, it's not much for the story.
Oh, I reckon the blood right was cool. I was picturing like Maze Runner.
Yeah.
They run in there and they all drop.
It's in a forest though.
Yeah, they had to drop. Wasn't it in a mountain? All different sides of the mountain, and it's pitch black?
Or were they under the mountain?
Yeah, that's what I
I
thought.
thought they were in a forest.
Because they said it was pitch black.
That might be right, yeah.
And then they had to drop Cassian, Azriel, and Rhys in different spots, and then other Illyrian warriors like, you guys aren't that good. Bang, they kill all of them.
Yeah. He's like,
was
basically,
cool.
it's when you go from being like a novice Illyrian warrior to an actual warrior.
Yeah.
And yeah, they dropped us in separate spots, but everyone tried to kill us, and we just killed them all and came out alive. So he was like, hey, to be fair, you guys did it. And he honored it. So one half-breed and two bastards, and he's honored it. That's
bad.
very rare for a camp lord.
Yes.
But basically, they go to like train in the woods. Rhysand and Feyre.
Yep.
And that's when he's kind of telling her about that. And then, this is fucking juicy, guys. Okay, so she goes randomly, because she's been thinking about Tamlin a little bit and how much of a traitor she is, because how much she enjoys Rhys's attention, right? And how much she thinks about him. So she thinks he's a bit of a traitor because like it's too soon. But so randomly, she's kind of got Tamlin on her mind, and she goes, "How'd you meet Tamlin?" And he goes, he was born at the beginning of the war. So you're right. I think Rhysand is a bit older than him. Maybe 100 years, I don't know.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Rhysand is a little bit older. You're correct. You said that last week.
Yeah.
And he goes, he was born at the beginning of the war, and then I don't know. I kind of got to know him a little bit at some court functions.
They were friendly.
Yeah, he's like, they were friendly, and he seemed decent for a High Lord's son. And I knew that everyone knew that he was going to be the next High Lord because he had the power, and I knew what it was like to have to prove yourself. So I kind of just like was friends with him, and every now and then I'd sneak out and I'd teach him some Illyrian. I was friends with him basically. He's
taught him some Illyrian
I taught him how to fight.
Skills which he regrets now.
He's like, I liked him, you know. He was kind of nice, and he was chilling. And then one day, basically,
play suspenseful music.
Oh man, yeah, play suspenseful music. So one day, one day, Rhysand's mum and sister were going to travel to an Illyrian camp to visit him, right? And to visit Rhysand. And Rhysand was going to meet them halfway and come back with them. And he didn't go meet them halfway because he was training a new group of Illyrian warriors. And so what happened was Tamlin's two brothers and Tamlin's dad, they knew about it because Rhysand had told Tamlin that they were coming to visit him. And so they meet Rhysand's sister and mother halfway and kill them.
Even though Rhysand wasn't there.
They were actually going to ambush and kill Rhysand because he's the most powerful High Lord of existence, and everyone knew this at this point, and he wasn't even a High Lord yet.
Tamlin's dad was threatened.
Yeah, Tamlin's dad was threatened by him, and Tamlin's dad was even threatened by Tamlin. And so they go, and they were going to go kill just Rhys, but that he wasn't there, so they killed his sister and his mum anyway, put their heads in fucking boxes and sent them down the river.
Yeah.
And basically, and Feyre's like, oh my God, I need something to lean on.
She's like, I didn't know. I didn't know.
She's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, what? Sorry.
Happened like 1,000 years ago.
And so he goes, I also wasn't, because we did know that Tamlin's parents and brothers were killed by Rhysand's dad.
Yes, and we find
And he goes,
out.
I wasn't entirely honest with you when I told you that. I helped him. We winnowed into the border of the Spring Court, walked the rest of the way to the manor. I killed Tamlin's brothers on sight. I melted their fucking brains. And I go in and I realized that my dad had killed Tamlin's dad, but also killed Tamlin's mother, even though he promised me he wouldn't. We go outside in the hallway, and my dad's going to go kill Tamlin. Tamlin hears the commotion, smells the blood, he kills Rhysand's dad in a single blow. And then they both feel the power of being High Lord now transferred onto them, and they look at each other, and they don't want to kill each other, and Rhysand just runs.
Yeah, Rhysand runs.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have.
I don't know, though. I mean, fair.
He just lost his dad to Tamlin, then he ran.
He didn't. Rhysand's dad was a fucking cunt, though. Sorry for swearing.
True. But the fact that he killed Tamlin's mum,
Yeah.
and Rhysand didn't want to be that type of High Lord.
No, exactly.
But still your dad.
So yeah, it's like valid that Rhysand killed Tamlin's brothers, but Tamlin went and fucking killed Rhysand's mum and sister, bro.
Yeah, that's so dog.
Tamlin's a fucker.
Yeah. Can't believe we used to like him.
Okay, so we learn all that, and then it's kind of like cool. And then basically after hearing that, Feyre gets all like emotional and just like blows a massive like fucking like fireball in the forest, and Rhysand's like, shit, okay. And then so I think it's like the next day. Yeah, this is the next day, right? They go back, and then the next day they go back into the forest and they go further. And this time they're planning on staying out, and they're staying in an inn because they're going even further out because he doesn't want anyone to see the fire.
Also crazy, like an inn to me sounds so wild.
There's
just like a motel.
It's like a random hotel in the fucking Night Court forest. Like, what, bro? In the Illyrian Mountains. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
And there's a brothel there and shit. They talk about having a brothel there. Like, insane.
Yeah, all the necessities.
Yeah. And so then
they're on their way there.
And he's like, all right, they just like.
This wigged me out a bit because they like sort of broke apart when they were walking.
Yeah. So they land, and he's like, okay, this is a good place to train. And so she starts going for a little walk, right? And she like kind of says like, stay back. As in like, I don't know if I can control this shit. Yeah. Stay back. And then she gets to a creek. She goes, perfect. If I use fire, there's a creek here. Sweet. I'll jump in it. And then the creek was really loud. She said I couldn't tell until they'd surrounded me. And I called this, by the way. Do you remember this was my prediction last week?
Vaguely, yeah.
So
we said Lucian would play a part.
Yeah, bro. And so basically she turns around and there's 4 Spring Court sentries. And then she hears a voice, Feyre, and it's Lucian, bro.
I love Lucian's voice in the dramatized audio.
Yeah.
He's just so class, but also this wasn't good.
And he goes, we've been hunting you for 2 months.
Fuck, took your time.
Also hunting?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's like...
What about just looking?
Is that what you see me as, game?
Yeah.
Yeah, and...
just look for me, don't hunt me. What are you going to do?
Well, Lucian's like, Tamlin's, this is the worst he's ever been.
He hasn't been
struggling,
himself. Ianthe took it too far. Sorry, Ianthe's done something. We don't know yet. We knew she would.
And Tamlin's chosen not to listen to Feyre's note that she wrote him.
Yep.
He's just oblivious to everything and only cares about his own feelings.
Fucking oath. And so she's kind of like, stay away from me. And he's like, Feyre, let's go home. And he like takes a step and she backs up. She's like, stay away from me. And she's like, and she knows that Lucian's like pretty well trained and fast, right? And if he can get a hand on her, he's going to winnow them away. Yep. Not very far, miles only, but he can get her away.
Far enough that Rhysand won't find him.
Exactly. And so she's like, oh shit. And so she looks over.
It's cool.
And then he takes a leap to touch her. And she's like, she winnows. She's like, he was in slow motion and she winnows back behind.
Like some Matrix shit.
Yeah, behind the Spring Court sentries. And then they back up and Rhysand's next to her. And then they just have like cool little kind of like, you know, Rhysand's like chilling and
she basically like, said her two piece and Rhysand didn't really say much and she just said everything to get off her chest that's been eating her up about time.
Well, yeah, she started saying like, you locked me up. He's like, that was a mistake. We all made mistakes. The first 3 months, it's all this stuff we've heard. The first 3 months were the most like tense, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up, Rhysand.
Yeah.
Right? Seriously. I mean, not Rhysand, Lucian. Shut the fuck up, Lucian. And so, yeah, basically she then, to like really get him to fuck off, she grows Illyrian wings.
Yeah, that was so cool. And she's like, Lucian's like, what have they done to you?
What have you done, Feyre?
Yeah.
The only people making anything her problem is the ones from the Spring Court.
Yeah, I know.
Like, seriously. And so then he buggers off and Lucian's kind of like, no, Rhysand says like, hey, man, I mean, if she wants to kill you, I can't stop you. You might want to leave. Yeah. You might want to go. Like, don't get on my nerves.
And the Sentinels winnow out. But what does he say right before he winnows again?
He said, you're dead to Rhys.
Yeah.
He's like, dead. Rhys, you're dead.
So,
and you know what?
The Summer Court are going to go with Highburn and then... No, sorry, the Spring Court will go with Highburn, but I think the Summer Court will go with Rhysand.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I agree. Because, bro, the Spring Court is 100% in Highburn's pocket. And I'll tell you why in 2 chapters.
Ianthe's done. Yeah, interesting.
So, that's, I think...
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Chapter 48 and 50. From there, they go to the inn. And
Rhys has to hide his powers still. Oh no, he used, when he was in the woods with Lucian, which you mentioned, that he used a slight power to get to Feyre.
Yeah.
And that's important.
He used a little bit of power because he was in Illyrian fighting gear.
Yeah.
And he was wearing, because he had to show his like mask that he shows to all the other courts.
Yeah.
He had to like use magic to get his tunic in that. And this look like he's like a chill dude that doesn't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
To show Lucian. And Lucian, when Lucian first sees Rhysand, by the way, he's like, whore.
Yeah.
I hate Lucian now, by the way.
Yeah,
After learning everything about Rhysand.
And
it's like if Lucian just knew Rhysand's story, I would still like Lucian.
Yeah, I know. I thought Lucian was going to come good and he just didn't. He hasn't yet. Maybe he will.
I have faith. I have genuine faith.
Hopefully.
I have genuine faith that Lucian is going to surrender himself to the Night Court.
Ooh, predictions.
Okay, sorry.
They get to the inn and basically Rhysand's hiding his identity and they get the worst room, like up all these stairs and then the bathroom's disgusting. Yeah. She's like, I won't go back in there till the morning when I have to wee again. And they get in the room. The room is tiny, barely big enough for Rhysand's wings. Yeah. And she's like, oh, not even enough room for Rhysand to sleep on the floor. What a shame. Anyway, they're flirting. Rhysand goes, I'll get you some food, babe.
All right, yeah. Also, guys, I just want to preface 48. This is a chapter that you should have warned us about.
Yeah. All right? I was reading this in my bed, listening as well, just feeling sexy.
See, I read only. I didn't listen this time.
I have to now. I love it. It's like my relaxation zen time, and it was just so enjoyable.
Basically, what did they? He just goes and gets some food.
Or Rhysand says something before they go to sleep, and says like, no, he came back and he was really cold. Yeah. And he said he said something about, I'll only be doing this, not sexually, it'll just be to keep each other warm.
Yeah, right. So she was like, there was one bed and she goes, oh, it looks like we're sharing. She's like, hey, I used to do it with my sisters. We did it to need to keep warm. It is what it is. Just warmth. Right? Yeah, no funny business.
Yeah.
And so they eat, they talk, they do a thought for a thought. And I think
it's like some high school shit.
They always do thoughts for thoughts. And I'm pretty sure his thought was, I think it's kind of like means something. I know that hers was that I can't stop thinking about you. And his was, I want you so bad that I can't even focus. Everywhere we are together, I can barely focus because I want you so bad. And this room is too small to bed you. All right.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
To bed you properly.
To bed you properly. Because I can't even fuck you up against the wall.
Yeah.
That's what he said, bro. And so I was like, holy shit, this is getting heated. And then finally they go to bed and she's shivering. He's like, girl, you're shivering so much the bed's shaking. She's like, my hair's wet. And he's like, okay. Scooches over, brings her in. And then they start like getting warm, right? Yeah. I don't really know what they do, but basically to get warm, he's kind of like rubbing her body, getting lowered up near her breasts, down near her legs.
And there's a lot of whispering like, don't stop.
Yeah. She's like saying in her head like, oh my God, please don't stop, please don't stop.
I don't know how long I've waited to do
And then,
this.
oh my God, okay. And then, what does he do? Oh, she like inches closer into him and like pushes her butt up against his dick and like, I think kind of like makes it so his hand like touches her boob and he's like, ooh, greedy. Yeah. Ooh, greedy girl, greedy Farrah. And then, okay, I remember this so well because I loved this chapter. She is just like begging for more, right? And he's inching closer and closer to the more sensitive areas of her crotch. And then finally, he's like, because I think they're like spooning, right? He finally puts a finger in, okay? And she can't handle it anymore. She's like, he's kissing her neck and stuff, and she's like, I'm sick of my neck getting all the attention. And she turns over, and they start making out. And then he slips a second finger in, and she just starts moaning and shit, right? And then she goes to pin him down to start fucking him, and he's like, He's like, I've had a very long time to think about how I want to do this with you. All right. But also when he's like rubbing her breasts, he starts going in like, I love these. Yeah. I really love these, like to her breast. But okay, she goes to pin him down and he's like, I've had a long time. He's like, I've had a long time to think about this. All right. And Farrah, when you lick me, I want it to be somewhere because when I yell, I'm going to I'm going to roar so loud that I could bring a mountain down. Yeah. And she's like, oh. And then he's like, I wanted you so bad in the Hewn City when we were putting on that show. But what I wanted the most was this. Takes his fingers out of her vagina and puts him in his mouth and starts tasting her, bro. Oh, Reset!
My boy Reset!
Oh, she was fucking creamy.
But he's also so fucking smooth. All the little like, and then at the end,
he's like talking about he's like, good girl.
Yeah. And then he says something like, go to bed. Just stops it right there.
He's kind of just
abruptly,
like,
go to bed.
He's kind of like, time for bed.
Yeah.
He's just like, let's go to sleep.
And she's just like, oh.
He goes, all right, let's go to sleep. And she goes, that's trying to tell me to breathe underwater.
Yeah.
So that's the equivalent of getting me to breathe underwater.
But wow, that chapter went like that when we were reading.
Sorry, that was all 48. Now we have to do 49 and 50 as well.
Yeah. Sorry, we got carried away.
So basically, they wake up the next day, don't even talk about it.
Oh yeah, get on with life.
They just don't even talk about it.
But it plays a part.
It does play a part because to be fair, he was like saying, just before he starts putting fingers in, he's kind of saying to her like, what do you want, Farrah? Yeah. And she's like, she really wants to say that she wants him, but she's like, I just want a distraction. So he goes, distraction's what I'll give you then. Cool. So I think the next day he's kind of like, look, no strings attached. She just wanted a distraction. We don't have to talk about it. And then they're flying, did some training. Yep. They're flying and he keeps on like apparently going to tell her something and then stopping. And she's like, what? So finally they're flying and she goes, what is it? Like, just tell me. You're trying to tell me something. And then as he's about to say something, he gets shot by ash arrows. And he's like, ooh! He gets shot a bunch of times with ash arrows and then his magic's not really working and he like throws her far away. To protect her, yeah. To protect her. Like full throws her far away. And then I'm not going to lie, like this is where Farrah becomes a beast.
Yeah, this is cool.
This was fucking.
This was so cool.
Tick.
She's turning up now.
She lands, saves herself with a shield, and then she's like, bruh, this is fucking crazy. Wait, this won't happen. This won't do. She's kind of just like, fuck this shit. I'm going to save him. She's trying to talk down the bond. Nothing. Blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, fuck this. And she just starts winnowing. Poof, poof,
yeah, she's tracking poof, the captors.
Winnowing, poof, poof, poof. And she's like, it's so dark, I can barely see. But wait, I got power because, by the way, guys, her power's getting a lot better. We kind of skipped over that. But she's like, I got power. All my power come from one place. This isn't the High Lord's power. This is my power. I know how deers work. let me shape shift my freaking eyeballs so I can see in the dark. And she's like, does that, boom, sees in the dark. Oh, she's like, I can see again. Boom, 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 boom. Gets over to the site where Rhysand's lands. Whoa, 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 arrows everywhere. Bang, 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 bang. Collects them. She collects like 7 arrows. Boom, 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 boom. She's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna track him. Okay, I can smell him. Gets over to a fork in the road. And she's like, whoa, shit, his scent goes both ways, but my scent's over that way. And he didn't have a bath, and he was fingers ring me, so that means he's over here. Goes over, whoosh. There's like a whole bunch of like sentries guarding him and shit, and like whipping him. He's chained up and they're whipping him. And she just gets the arrows and starts winnowing, slicing throats. Left, right, and center, bro.
Fucking killing everyone.
So cool. She's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
And then she gets Rhysand out of there and winnows him to a different cave or some shit. And she's kind of chilling there. And
she has to cut the arrows to
yeah.
get him out because she doesn't want to cause any more damage.
Yeah,
and
gets
then
the arrows out. And he's like, not stopped. He's
not getting any
bleeding.
better.
They were all
The blood's,
poisoned.
clotting, and she's like, what do I do?
And
I
the
don't know
ash
anything
arrows,
about
yeah.
poison.
The ash arrows were poisoned.
Yeah.
And then she stays in that cave with him for one night and wakes up and she's like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, randomly
So-
it's up to midday. It was
Yeah.
like, why are we waiting
Jesus
so
Christ,
long?
what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And then she goes out and traps a cereal.
Yeah, well, very easily again.
Yeah.
She like waits a couple of hours and she goes, I know what I have to do. Traps a cereal with a snare. And the cereal is the same cereal. Is there only one?
I don't know. I think there's like 5.
Yeah.
But they all know everything.
Yeah. But the last one was in the spring court. Now it's in Court of
I
Nightmares.
feel
But
like they
anyway.
do what they want.
Yeah, exactly. But the cereal's very scary. Do your impersonation of it?
Wait, this motherfucker was worse than the adder.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Ready? So she traps a cereal.
Yeah.
And then she comes over and he's like, Feyre Curse-breaker. But you have to imagine I'm saying that and then there's an echo to it.
Yeah.
Voice echoes. Ready? So I'll start saying
I'll be
it
the echo.
and you say, Feyre Curse-breaker. Exactly like that guy. Exactly like that.
You've changed a lot, haven't you?
Yeah, she's all confident. I have need of you. He's like, whoa, fuck, what's 1 year done to you? And she goes, 1 year. It has been 1 year. Oh, no. She's like, cool. I got some questions. You're going to answer them. What the hell was the poison on those ash arrows? Bloodbane.
I've never heard of Bloodbane before.
Bloodbane. Okay, cool. How do I heal him? Your blood.
Simple.
Apparently, her blood, he needs to drink it. And then also some plant. I don't know.
And that was from the High Lord of
the High Lord of the Dawn Court
One
is
of the
the
courts.
healing powers.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the Day Court is the wind.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And obviously Winter Court, ice.
And then,
Summer
yeah.
Court, water.
She had
Boom.
so blood from Feyre and then also some flowers from near the river.
And then he goes, make your mate chew them. Emphasis on the word mate, guys. Ready? Make your mate chew the flower to speeden up his healing. And she's like,
what?
She's like, what'd you just say? And he's like, make your... And then he goes, you did not know.
You don't know.
The High Lord of the Night Court, you did not... Oh my God, he did not tell you. And she's like, he knows? And the cereal's like, yeah, bruh. He fucking knows that you're his soul bonded mate.
Yeah. So pause here. Feyre's obviously heartbroken that Rhysand hasn't told her that they are mates in quotes. The use of mate here really annoyed me. Because I was like, why wouldn't you use like life partners or something? Mate, I was just like, it could be anything.
Yeah, I know.
When the emphasis on mate was so much.
It's
and I was
called
just-
mating bond, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, that's meh.
Yeah.
When I first read it. But also, why is she so annoyed?
It annoys me.
Why is she so annoyed that Rhysand didn't tell Feyre that they are mates? I was thinking he did the right thing by letting her figure it out herself. That she was
same.
like that she figures out herself that they're actually in love rather than him going up to him and be like, you know, we're mates, we should just have sex now. Like,
Yeah.
it's better for her to find out that she's actually in love with him.
I don't know. Yeah, to be fair, like, I guess he could have told her because basically she's like, the fuck? Goes back, saves him, gives him her blood, and she's like, all right, questions. You're answering only. You will not ask me any questions.
Bro's almost died, saved
Yeah.
Feyre's life doing it, and then she's like, answer these questions, bitch, now. And he's like,
She did save his life in a beast way, to be fair.
Yeah.
And so she's like, all right, the fuck, mate? We're mates?
Yeah.
Like, okay, when are you going to tell me? And he's like, you ensnared the cereal? And she's like, I told you no questions. Answers only.
mate.
And she's like, when were you going to tell me? I think we're into 51 now, I'm not going to lie.
Okay. Yeah, so, this is right before they're still in the cave. and she's getting questions out of him. And then he's like, I've known for a while. I just didn't know. I wanted to tell you last night when I was fingering you. But
Yeah. He's like, oh, after I tasted that fresh ass fucking juice, he's like, I wanted to tell you last night. I've been wanting to tell you today. I've honestly wanted to tell you heaps of times, but I just thought that it
wasn't right.
You know, it's like, he's like, I didn't want to tell you. Actually, here's okay. She goes, when?
When did you know?
How long? When did you know? He goes, I had my suspicions under the mountain.
And we all recall a court of
Thorns and Roses.
Thorns and Roses, sorry, yeah, at the last bit of the book, how Reese takes a double look at her and then flies away.
And Oddie goes, that meant something. That meant something. And I'm like, what could it mean? What could it mean? Turns out that moment is the moment he 100% knew that it hit him like a brick that they were mates. And he didn't say anything then.
So he's known since then.
Because to be fair, he's like, you were in love with Tamlin.
What was I meant to do?
He's like, you were in love with Tamlin, and me telling you was just like, you know, look, the High Lord of the Night Court just trying to fuck shit up, you know? Like, that's how the story gets written, Feyre. I needed you to know, but also I wanted you to not be told and then feel as though you were forced to, like, fall in love with me because we were mates. Like,
and Rhysand endured Feyre sleeping with Tamlin for months and months and did nothing. And she's just like, oh, he went through all that. And then she's like, what a good man. Actually, maybe he didn't even care.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you, Feyre?
Fuck me.
Obviously he cares. He's a good bloke.
Honestly.
Oh,
like, people say we're hard on Feyre. She just jars me.
Yeah, she gets answers
with
out
how
of him.
pissed off she is about
she's like,
this.
winnow us back now.
Take me back to the Illyrian camp. And then they get to the Illyrian camp, and he's like, Feyre, and she starts walking away. Moore and Cassian come out.
Yeah, doesn't even look after him and make sure he's okay.
Yeah, Moore and Cassian come out. Cassian goes to fucking Rhysand, and she goes to Moore, winnow me away. I need to be far away. And she's like, okay. They go to some cabin.
Immature, not dealing with your feelings.
Yeah, honestly,
just running away.
They go to some cabin.
Oh, these next, so we're up to chapters 51 and 53.
Yeah.
These are all really boring.
These are all pretty boring. Okay, boom. Moore takes Feyre to cabin. All right? She's like, don't tell Rhysand where I am. I need fucking time. Moore says, this cabin belongs to our family. There is a ward around it. No one can winnow in. No one even can get past the point outside this house, all right? You are safe here. There is spells on this house where whatever you want, it will give you. Food, water, warmth, fire. Don't worry about it. I'll be back in 3 days, okay? Feyre's just like, boom, 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 has a bath, just keep having thoughts to herself. And she's like doing that thing where she like overthinks shit. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, one day in, she's like, I do want to be his mate.
Yeah.
And then she stays for 5 days.
Yeah, it was 5 days.
She finds some cans of paint and paints the whole house.
Yeah, in the background, there was like a couple things we haven't mentioned. She's like getting the itch to paint again.
Yeah, she wants to paint Rhysand. She's been wanting to paint, and she like says to Rhysand, I want to paint you. And he's like, naked would be nice.
Yeah.
I was like, honestly, bro, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
But basically, she paints I thought very disrespectful, paints the whole cabin, Moore's family cabin. And I was like,
no, it's Rhysand's.
No, it's Moore's. It's Moore's family's cabin. And then they used to come up there drunk and get drunk. It's Moore's family.
Oh.
That's why he doesn't know about it.
He
does know about it, but he doesn't know
he doesn't know she's there.
Yeah.
See, I thought that it was like and when she said family, I thought she meant like Moore, Cassie, and Azriel Rhysand. Not
I
like
took it as Moore's family.
Oh.
And they used to go there before Amarantha took over.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It makes more sense why she would take her there.
Yeah.
But basically, she's just there for 5 days. Moore's like comes, and then on the 5th day, she's like, "Oh, thank God, I'm ready to go back." And cliffhanger, knock, knock, boom, boom. Thank God,
Who's
it's
there?
Moore. Rhysand.
Well,
we don't know it's Rhysand.
Whoa. Basically, we just think it's Rhysand, all right? Because she goes, finally, on the 5th day, Moore knocked on the door, impatient.
Yeah.
And she goes, I went to open it, and the end of chapter 53 is that it wasn't Moore.
Yeah.
And at this point, would like to add in that she's like fully just accepted that she wants to be with Rhys.
Yeah. And
she's fully accepted that the reason she doesn't give a fuck about wanting to sleep with Rhys, even though it's only a couple months after Tamlin, is the fact that they are mates.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's sweet then. And then here's the thing is, bro, they were mates the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
She talks about when she's cutting the fucking arrows out of Rhysand's wings, she talks about like to try and calm him down. She goes, one summer when we had a little bit of extra cash, Elaine bought me paints. I painted this for Elaine, painted this for fucking Nesta. And then he's like, what'd you paint for yourself? And she's like, I painted the night sky and some mountains. She goes, I don't even know why. I didn't even like the night sky at that point. I used to hunt and go to sleep. I didn't even look at it. And then she's like, maybe it was because I knew you were coming for me, you know? So
bit of subtle foreshadowing.
yeah. But basically, chapter 54 and 55 are next, guys. And
we have big things for that.
yeah.
Are we telling them what we're doing? I think they already know. Chapters 54 and 55, we are going to do a live reaction to the dramatized audio on here, stopping and starting when stuff happens and speaking through it. But before that, we need predictions. So that's the next episode, so you know what we're doing.
So
Only
we
2
said at the
chapters,
start what our predictions are going to be is details of 54 and 55.
which is going to be some fucking fuckers and figures.
gonna be
and
fucking
the wings are
everything.
going to fucking
She's
show
going
a
to
good
fucking
time.
stroke his wings and he's going to shudder and poo his pants and shit, bro. Oh,
Okay. So it's only
Basically,
2
obviously,
chapters.
the guy at the door is Reese Andy,
Yeah.
not more, obviously.
Do they fuck in this
What I wanna know.
cottage?
Do they fuck in the cottage or
No.
you don't reckon?
It's a good place to fuck, actually.
Great place to fuck.
Cozy, warm.
I don't think they're going to want to have sex with that paint around.
Yeah, and she just painted like the eyes of Amryn and like Moore and shit. Like, kind of sus. I reckon they're not going to fuck there. They got to. I think Reese wants to fuck in his own house.
You know what? Yeah, he does, but they can't go back to Valaris. Remember?
Yeah.
They can't.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they fuck on the ground, all like primitive and shit.
Maybe they just do it in the camp. Okay. But here's so everyone's talking about chapters 54
Why are
and
they
55.
so good?
Okay. Now, obviously, there is some smutty, sexy stuff, some smutty, fairy, sexy sex, all right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though. I don't think both chapters are all just sex. That's my prediction.
I hope it is.
No, for real. I think
Someone commented, "Keep your girlfriends close, boys."
Oh, shit. We're going to be next to each other. Let's go.
We're also having a sleepover tonight.
We are. Oh, shit.
Okay. So, what are we predicting? So, we're saying, are we landing on their fucking in this cottage of Moore's?
Yes. Okay. They're going to have sex in the cottage.
No. To start, there's going to be some boring conversation.
Yeah.
They both admit their feelings.
I'm sorry.
Makeup sex is the best.
There's going to be an argument.
Ooh.
Okay. There's going to be an argument. And then one of them. Okay. This is detailed. But for real though. Ready? There's going to be an argument. And then what? It's going to be Pharaoh that says like, why? All right. And Reese's going to say, because I love you.
Oh, shit.
I fucking love you, Pharaoh. All right.
Okay.
And then she's going to be like, that's when she's going to feel the bond, the mating bond snap into place. And that's when she's just going to go over and start fucking him.
Ooh. No. I reckon it's not. I agree with you up until that point. I think it's going to be very, very slow and love making, not fucking at the start.
True. Sorry.
I think it's going to be like
excited.
kissing.
Yeah, I was excited.
The hands between the legs, and then she's going to start touching. No, he might even say, I reckon he might say, like, touch my wings. Like, he might offer it because he said no one's ever touched my wings before.
Yeah.
And he goes, like, touch my
He's going to have his wings out.
Yeah,
and
he's
he's going to be like, yeah, touch him here, touch him here.
I reckon that's what will happen. But you bring up an interesting dilemma. 2 chapters of fucking, maybe not. Do they fuck immediately at this place? We don't know. Fuck.
Okay, Oddie.
I agree. Okay, so we're on the same wavelength with that. So slow, sensual fucking. Do you reckon it's going to be like a what's it called when you fuck for like days?
Oh.
Like, do you reckon they're just going to fucking fuck?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
Like a bender of fucking.
that would be crazy.
And they stay in this cottage. Maybe that's what it is. So they do fuck here, slow to start, and then she goes, after that, we had a break, ate some food, and then we went again, and he showed me how to really fuck. Something like that. And then they do it for like 2 days straight.
Okay, you know what? That could be it. But here's the thing that I just don't see 2 whole chapters. They could be short chapters.
True. The last chapter was 1 page.
Yeah, they could be short chapters.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
I
think they're good predictions.
Yeah. Okay, good predictions. To be fair, yeah. Oh, I fuck because I fucking love you.
I fucking love you, baby.
Okay, guys, that's it. Okay.
No, the final prediction. What everyone wants to know. How do we perceive Rhysand's penis?
Okay, here's the thing. What was the word I said to you at the gym today?
Oh, you told me Jake was listening to the dramatized audio at the gym because we wanted to know how she described it when she
Because I had read everything and then I read with the audio up until 45 and then I just read without the audio for some reason. I got really into it. And so then I was listening to the audio just like yesterday and today.
It was simple. It was like the hard, thick length. What was it? It was
the considerable length.
Yeah.
She described it on the night where he was fingering her, going up her bum up against his pants. She described it as his the considerable length of him.
Okay.
So he's got a big dick.
100%. It's a slong.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, how does she describe it?
It's circumcised for sure.
Yeah. She's going to say something like what we did in the main episode. Like that thing needed its own postcode, that thing. The night court is fucking
Okay.
I also have a prediction. I think Feyre will get pregnant right now.
Oh shit, I was going to say that and I was like, nah.
I reckon she will. Like they don't find out until they're like fighting Highburn and then she'll vomit or something.
Yeah.
Damn,
bro.
Yeah.
That is a good prediction. She's going to get pregnant straight away.
Yeah, I reckon.
And it's rare for that to happen.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Well, they're mates.
Their baby, bro.
Powerful.
It's going to be more powerful
Well,
than them.
maybe because this book's almost over. Maybe the savior of everything, Prithian and the mortal realms, will be their kid, not them.
That's cool.
Because this book is almost over and we haven't even learned anything about Highburn.
That's a fucking good point.
Yeah.
I have one more prediction to make. Okay. And I predict this is just somewhere in the series. All right. I don't know about this book. All right. Maybe. Or the next one. But I predict that either it won't be Feyre and it won't be Rhysand. All right. But I predict that either Mor, Asriel, or Cassian die.
You need something like that to happen, yeah.
So Amryn won't die. But I think Mor, also maybe it's just either Asriel or Cassian.
I think it can only be Asriel.
Asriel. See, the reason I think it's not Asriel and it's Cassian is
more.
because they've made us fall in love with Cassian more. And Asriel, we're still yet to like have much to do with. So it's like it would be more heartbreaking for the reader if Cassian went.
True. Yeah, we don't know.
And we know more backstory of Cassian, so it makes it even worse.
Maybe the backstory of when we find out the backstory about Asriel, he'll die after that. Maybe.
If I actually...
I would prefer Asriel to die over Cassian at the moment.
Same.
Yeah.
I know, not because I dislike Asriel.
Yeah,
It's just too much.
Yeah.
Asriel, Cassian's a bad dog.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine.
Okay. That is the book club concluded for today.
Guys, I'm starting to enjoy this more and more.
2 chapters for next week, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you know what to do if you want the episodes early. They're on Patreon 5 days early, $5 a month. You also get the extra episode of the main episode, extra 1 hour long. So getting good bang for your buck. And also the community on Patreon is going really good.
And also, I mean, hey, if we get 1,000 paid members on Patreon, we're doing a live show. But if we get 10,000 5-star reviews on Spotify before that, we will also do a live show.
And if we get 2,000 members on Patreon, we'll do a Akator themed live show.
Wait, no, for real though, if we do a live show, we have to do at least 5 minutes of something to do with Akatar.
Yeah, we got to like, I don't know, get like Rhysand like lookalike to come out or something. Imagine that.
Yeah, we gotta start thinking.
What are they called? Like they have like not lookalikes, we're like, do you know how like
doppelganger?
Yeah, doppelgangers.
Yeah, boy, doppelganger.
Can't really.
We gotta start thinking about that. We could do the whole show in outfits,
like with fucking wings.
Yeah, we could be the Bat Boys. We could be the Bat Boys. Me and you could be Cassian and Asriel, and then we bring out a doppelganger of Rhysand.
Yeah. Or one of the baddies could be Feyre and have like a dilemma or something.
Fair, bro.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We love ya.
We love ya.
Stay bad.
Stay bad.